Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca L. Norrington, the world's only happiness specialist. That's right. You found me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all my faithful listeners, and greetings to all my new listeners. Every week I don't know how this stuff grows organically, but every week there's new listeners, and I just want to welcome everyone. And thank you for listening. Listen. My journey as the world's only happiness specialist, I have to tell you, I've got to walk it, people. I've got to walk it. And what that means is, when I was younger, I wanted two things. I wanted to live to my potential, and I wanted to be happy. And I found that whatever you ask the universe for, and I'm not talking about cars and money and, new home and Mr. Wonderful. I'm talking about whatever you ask that is a conscious energy, you are going to get that back. Whatever you give out, you're going to get back. So my question was always, how can I be happy, universe? I want to be happy. What? And I had a life of ups and downs and ups and downs. Something happened, I was miserable. Something great happened, I was happy. How the hell can I sustain that? Is that even possible? And let me just give you my definition of happiness. My definition of happiness is to be able to feel at peace, to be able to be at peace, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. And this show is about teaching, sharing what I've learned, how to experience more happiness, and how to ground yourself, root yourself in peace, happiness. The same thing to me. Happiness, peace, contentment, satisfaction, balance, relaxation, all of those things, the same thing, lots of different labels, means the same thing. It's feeling that vibration of peace. And how to do that. And it's just, you know what, folks, it's just like anything. Once you start, happiness is a practice skill. And once you start practicing the things and the behaviors that add to your happiness, and you begin to consciously eliminate the behaviors and the things that subtract from happiness, guess what? The more you practice, the more you're going to be able to be at peace. And today's topic is just, it's about what do we do about those people that we don't like? What do we do about those people that we may be holding grudges? What about those people that, I remember hearing and labeling, well, I'm not going to be or hang around those people because they're negative and they're too negative and they bring you down. So let me say something about those quote-unquote negative people and those people that you say bring you down or you're in their company. Boy, do I start off quick. It's like shooting me out of a cannon. Before I go on, let me just say that can't even spit it out. I'm available for weekend seminars, retreats. Contact me at info@RebeccaNorrington.com. Also, follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. Reality Spirituality is on Facebook. go to Reality Spirituality and like that page. I command you, or not. Back to the topic. Because this is huge. How many of you out there, in fact, let me just say this. Get a pencil, get a pen, a pencil, and a piece of paper. Get a pencil and a piece of paper, because we're going to do a little exercise today. And you don't have to answer all the questions if you're not feeling it. But this can be this can be a homework assignment. So I'd like you to get a piece of paper and a pen and a pencil and get ready to write some things down. And it all ties in with today's show. I promise, ? It will tie in. Because the show is about what do you do about those people that you don't like, the people that you can't stand, the people that you're not talking to, the people that you're holding grudges against. Well, let me just start with the grudges. Let me tell you something. Please don't share this with anyone. And universe, just close your ears. I don't want you to hear this. They already know. I was the queen of holding a grudge. I learned it from the best. I learned it from Ralph Norrington, my daddy, my pappy, Ralph Norrington. I have to say my mother was never one to hold a grudge and stay angry, because this woman could let go, and that's one thing that I learned about her later in life. She could let go of something in an instant, in a second. She was not one to hold grudges, but my father was a champion grudge holder, and boy, oh boy, did I learn from the best. I remember a time where I was 18 years old, and I wanted to go on a vacation with my boyfriend at the time, and I asked my parents, yes, I had to ask for permission. And my father said, no, you can't go on a vacation with a boy. You can't do that. Well, I did it anyway, and when I came back, I was gone probably a week. Went to Yosemite, up the coast, boyfriend, brother. Anyway, at 18, come on. When I came back, my father did not speak to me. He did not speak to me for 3 months. And he told my mother to tell me, it's like I already had my honeymoon and I wasn't married. Yeah, that's how old-fashioned and old school he was. I already had my honeymoon and I wasn't married. So he didn't speak to me. I moved out. It was all at the same time. I had already moved out in my own apartment, and I'll never forget, he came over to the apartment with my mother to look at it. It was still 3 months, and he didn't even speak to me then. And I just broke down, and I remember just screaming at him, why don't you just talk to me? Why are you not talking to me? And it was traumatic, and I was crying, and I was the only, and he always demanded an apology. If you apologize to him, if you apologize to King Ralph Norrington, then you got into his good graces. So it was a whole thing. It was a whole production. Now, I have to say, when I was holding grudges and giving the people that I claim to love the cold shoulder, you know what I'm talking about, my dear audience, that cold shoulder when I'm not going to speak to you and I'm not talking to you and we're not speaking. Well, let me say something. If you say that you love someone and then you give them this cold shoulder, that doesn't compute. That's not love. That's a way of trying to, I know, put on your seatbelts. I'm sorry in advance. Hang up. Don't listen anymore if you don't want to hear it. But that cold shoulder thing is another way to manipulate and try to control somebody else's behavior. And that is not loving. Manipulating, trying to control someone else's behavior is not loving behavior. Certainly not acceptance. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just telling you what it is. The holding grudges, so if you are holding, and see, listen, I am not saying that these people that you maybe the energy doesn't mix. There's a lot of energy that just doesn't mix. It's not compatible energy, I like to say. But that doesn't mean that you have to emit a vibration of judgment, of pointing the finger and then listing, I bet you can list about 10 things that's wrong with the people that you don't like, right? You can probably list a lot of things about the people you don't like. Maybe they're arrogant. Maybe they're negative. Maybe they're complainers. Maybe they're racist. Maybe they're not fair. Whatever you want to title it, it doesn't even matter what it is. It doesn't matter. All of those things that you're labeling, you've heard this before from me, all of those things that you're labeling them, you own that. You also own that. I know it hurts. Trust me, it took me years to admit it, and it took me years to see it, and it took me years to bow down and surrender to it. But whatever you see in anybody else, I don't care what it is, whatever you see, you also own it. I don't care if it's people that you know or people that you don't know. Now, if you're still listening, here's your assignment. Here we go. You ready? I know that's a tough one. I've had people not speak to me after I've talked about this in my classes. I mean, I've had people you just don't know. You know, people walk out, people get mad, But one thing I do know is if you're angry and you're pointing the finger at anybody else but you, you're off. I've had people in my life, listen, I could hold a grudge for years. I used to hold a grudge for years. And let me say, there is nothing that anybody can do to you that hasn't already been orchestrated, that hasn't already been planned, that isn't for your betterment. I don't care what it is. I know it's a hard one to swallow and to get, but there is a reason for everything that happens, and you are never a victim. You can have that vibration of being a victim. You can have the energy of a victim, but there are no victims. There are no mistakes. There is a reason for all of it. I remember this was hard for me to really get. I remember a woman called in a few years ago to the show, and she had been molested. And, come on, I don't even want to pretend to think that I could even get in anyone's shoes that has experienced that. And I asked her, and you know what, I didn't even want to ask her this. I really didn't even want to ask her. I said, can you find something that served you that was good in that experience? Trust me, audience. I can't even. It was hard for me to even ask that question. I'm surprised I even got it out. And this is the only reason why I can say this is because this woman came up with immediately, yes. And she began to tell me how she opened herself up to other people, other women and men who had the same situation, experienced the same thing, and support groups. She started with hundreds of people, and that's what came out of that. Now, listen, if I was in charge, there would be no child that was hurt, physically or emotionally. Let me just get that straight. None. There would be no child that is physically or emotionally hurt, ever. Ever. But I'm not in charge, and I'm not in control. And I can't even fathom how this plan works out. All of the different tapestries in the quilt. I don't get it, but I do know there's an order to it, and I trust that. Okay, I'm getting off the topic. Let me get back to your homework assignment. Everybody should have their paper and their pen. Okay, write this down. Write these labels down. And again, the topic today is holding grudges, and what do we do about the people that we don't like? Okay, that's the topic. So here we go. Write this down. These are just descriptions of people that you've probably encountered in your life, one or two of them, probably a lot. Okay, here we go. I don't like that word probably. Okay, here we go. Father. Just write these names down. Write the labels down. Father, mother, husband, wife, children, siblings, teacher, doctor, scientist, homeless, actor, athlete, politician, rapper. Let me read those again. Father, mother, husband, wife, children, sibling, teacher, doctor, scientist, homeless, actor, athlete, politician, rapper. So this is just a broad range of people that you come in contact with all of your life. Now, you don't have to do this now, but your assignment is to quickly write down 3 words that describe the following list. Right next to their names, right next to the label of father, 3 things very quickly that describe to you what your vibe is, what you feel, what you're feeling when you hear the word father, and or athlete, or politician, or rapper. So that's assignment number 1, and we're going to get. In fact, you can do that while you're. I don't know if you can do that while you're listening, but try to very quickly. So I don't want you to think about it. Just bam, bam, bam. Just come up with bam, bam, bam. What am I, Fred Flintstone here? Come up with 3 labels or 3 words that describe the following. Okay? Father, mother, husband, wife, children, sibling, teacher, doctor, scientist, homeless, actor, athlete, politician, and rapper. You get where I'm going? Not yet? That's okay. Now, this holding grudges thing, you know, it's really interesting. I've had people in my life. Well, let me tell you, I've already admitted to being able to hold grudge forever. I mean, I'll hold a grudge. I remember holding grudges against my own husband at the time. Poor guy. Well, he married me. And even that had a purpose and a reason. Listen, I wasn't the only bad guy there, but anyway, well, I digress. Poor fella. Holding grudges. The kicker is the interesting thing. If you in the world today, there have been so many people that the story is they did this to me. I talked about my mother leaving the house to the handyman. Well, there was a handyman, there was an attorney involved, there was my mother involved. I mean, I could point my fingers at all of those people. But the real issue is none of this stuff happens without a reason and a purpose to serve us to serve us in a way. What kind of way? It is an opportunity for growth. Why are we here? What is our purpose? What is our purpose here? is to grow, is to expand, is to feel that vibration, that feeling that we felt when we were first born, when we were 6 months, when we were a year. That vibration, that is our purpose. The purpose isn't to make money. The purpose isn't to serve others. The purpose is to grow. The purpose is to vibrate peace, contentment on the planet. And the more you grow, the more you grow, the more you are able to do that. Whatever you're vibrating is what you're contributing to this planet. Whatever it is. Uh-oh, hold on a second, audience. Hold on a second, audience. I've got to go back. Technical. Okay, good, I'm back. Okay. Where was I? Okay, back to purpose and holding grudges. I remember people that have been in my life, and I'm talking about been in my life for years, over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and believe it or not, I have a few people now that will not speak to me, reaching out, will not speak to me, will not engage in any conversation, holding a grudge. But the problem with that is whenever you are holding a grudge against anyone else, you might as well be drinking poison. Because all it does is come back to you. There is no kind of harm that other person is feeling or experiencing, regardless of what you say or feel. I know that I'll show them. No. You are shooting yourself in the foot. You are drinking poison. And I'm telling you, I was tired of drinking poison. I'm not going to be, forget it. Forgiveness and forget. I've been screamed at. I've been yelled at. I've been told so many different, to my face, not to my face. This was about, 3 years ago? I wasn't even allowed by one of a family member to go to another family member's funeral because I don't want you at the funeral. Now, I could have gone to the funeral, but I'm not, I don't want, and it was, I'm telling you, there was one family member that said, and it wasn't in my family, it was an extended family. Anyway, I don't want you at the funeral. And to this day, not only I wasn't welcome at a funeral. At a funeral, you would think that, okay, somebody's death, all of this shit gets thrown away. But no. Some people can hold grudges at a funeral. Even so, that person, if I saw them, my arms would be open. Because it's not about them or what they're saying or what they're doing. They're drinking, they're doing them. But when you practice and when you make a commitment to be the vibration, be light, be the energy of light and peace and contentment on this planet, when you make a commitment to that, full-on commitment, what happens is you become lighter, you exude lightness, and I'm not just talking about the feeling of lightness, I'm talking about light, a light. Have you ever tried to look at the sun without any sunglasses on? I mean, just stared at the sun. I know it's not supposed to be good for you, especially during eclipse. Stared at the sun. You stare at the sun. It's very hard to look at a bright sun. It hurts your eyes. So the lighter you are, my dear audience, the lighter you grow, the more you practice, the lighter you become. And what happens when somebody walks into a dark room and turns the light on? What happens when someone walks into a dark room and turns the light on? The darkness leaves. There is no darkness. So I don't want to really hear about these people that are negative, because if you're growing and you're light, there's no way negativity can even penetrate. So the more you grow, the lighter you are, and I mean that literally light. The lighter you are, the negativity has nowhere to shine. It's nowhere to go. It's gone. So you see how the responsibility always comes back to us? Isn't that the best? It's never about the other person. It's always about us and what we're doing and our commitment and our priority. What are we prioritizing? I've had people, oh my goodness, and you see, it's so telling. You never know about a person when the sun is shining. You only know about a person's character when they're challenged. So these people that I've used to, that I've known for, 10, 20, 25 years, and now don't speak, and they don't speak. I remember working at downtown during my day job, and this woman, I'm telling you, she showed pictures of her granddaughter. We did potlucks together. It was a constant. Buddies had lunch together, and all of a sudden I say something or do, which really, what did I do? Oh, see, this is another thing, the story of what did I do. I actually didn't agree. This is going to sound so crazy. There were moving furniture, and it was people that were putting claims on furniture because they were saying, if you want this furniture, it was an office. So if you want this furniture, put a sticker on it. And she wanted the same furniture that an attorney wanted. And I took the side of the attorney. I said, well, he does have an office, and so because I took the side of someone else, this woman, after over 10 years, stopped talking to me. When I say stop talking, I mean you get in the same elevator and I might as well be invisible. You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about because I used to do the same thing. But the problem with that behavior, my dear audience, is that behavior is you drinking the poison. It's never about them. It's you. Now, if you want to drink poison, hey. So anytime I hear about someone, well, I'm not speaking to them, or I'm angry at them, I'm not talking, I know it's nothing to do. You're not hurting them. You're not hurting them one bit. Know that. Now, what do we do about the people that we don't like? What do we do about those people? Let's go back to our little homework assignment here. 3 words that describe the following. It's so interesting that one of the reasons why I had so many issues, well, I can say mother and father, before I really started to grow even more, be more conscious, because it's just about growing like anything else. Plants grow, flowers grow, growth. It is just about growth, and it's about growing to a place where your perspective, your vision is universal as opposed to tunnel. Your perspective and your vision is open to all possibilities as opposed to just a limited few. When you are limiting yourself to a certain perspective, you are not growing. Growing comes from expanding. And with expansion comes growth. And with all of that comes a different way to view the world. So these labels of father, mother, husband, teacher, scientist, homeless. I don't know what you wrote for homeless, actor, athlete, politician. I'm going to throw a politician thing out there. So when you whatever the label could be, maybe the label is liars, maybe the label is a leader, maybe the label is, for a politician, maybe the label is service to others, who knows, whatever, or maybe it's all negative labels. But let's go to rapper. Come on, that's a good one. There's so many people. I hate rappers. I hate rap music. Anytime you put I hate in front of it, then the reasons why, know that all those reasons come back to you. I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just the truth. And let me say this. I was one of those people. I never listened to rap music. That was garbage. Garbage. The rappers are garbage. Garbage, right? Degrading women, disrespect, on and on and on. Oh, listen, I was raised that my father taught me that people that cursed, people that used fuck or shit or any of those words were the lowest. People that came out of prison, they're low too. They're garbage too. And it wasn't until I started prioritizing peace and I started prioritizing happiness and this contentment and all of this and on my journey did I discover that everything on this planet has a purpose. I may not get it at first. I may not open my arms to it. But you know that you're growing when your tastes change and you're open. Now, there are going to be some people, I don't care how long they're living, I hate rap music, and that's okay too. But whatever you're vibrating, see, the thing is, the sun, the universe doesn't communicate with this color, with any of that stuff. It's just like business. Business doesn't see color. Business sees money and profit. So it's nothing. What I'm begging you to understand is that be open. There is some rap music that isn't there Christian rapper. All I'm saying is just be open. And let's go back to this list. Whatever description you used, whatever labels you used to describe these people, you own every one of them. I know I said it before, but I'm saying it again. You own every one of them. And I started saying something, and I didn't even finish my thought. The reason why I had a problem or had conflict with my mother or my father or my husband at the time or anything, homeless, rapper, actor, athlete, any kind of issue with, or even an individual person, is because I had an expectation of what a father should be and act like, or what a mother should be, act like, feel like, or what a politician should act like or feel like. I had expectations, and I was labeling. Let's take the husband. A husband was supposed to be a leader, in charge, take over, Prince Charming, aggressive. If I'm hurt or if I'm, save me. That was my mentality. That guy is protect me. All of those expectations, putting your twist on what you believe these people should act like and be like, usually is a problem. Because if you put loving by a mother's name and they, by a mother. If you add loving as a label and they're not loving, guess what? There's a problem. See, all mothers aren't going to be loving. All mothers aren't going to be accepting. All mothers aren't going to be. All mothers aren't going to be. Where's my word? Supportive. No, they're not. These people, every single one of these people that we listed, is an individual with their individual traits and their individual behaviors. And this trying to fit somebody in a box is never going to work. It's never going to add to your happiness. It's never going to add to your peace. What I'm saying is there are tons and tons and tons of homeless people. You know what I learned, especially working downtown? There were some homeless people that I met, I'm telling you, they were happier than the wealthiest people that I knew. They had a happier vibration than a person that had millions of dollars that I knew. Happier vibration. How can you be happy and homeless? How can you be happy and homeless? So that's my point. When I say all of your answers, all of your challenges, all of your questions, all of your solutions can be found in the mirror, all of it can be found in the mirror. It's never about anybody else. It's never about the other person. I know it's easy to blame. I know it's the easy road. I know, but it's not true. And you're not going to find peace without finding truth. What? Truth is peace. Let me look over my label. Something down the bottom. Grudging, drinking poison, yes. Holding grudges, long explanation. Let me say something. I'm just going to give you a little behind the scenes. One of my, I talk about pushing buttons, and if there is something that's pushing your buttons, it's up to you. It's up to you to eliminate your buttons. There is one of my buttons is listen to this. I mean, I talk for 40 minutes, listening to people who like to tell stories who are long-winded. Now, some people might think this show is long-winded, so there you go. One of my pet peeves is listening to long explanations. I needed to get some research because it's springtime in Oregon, and that's when you have to get the exterminator out because there are bugs here that I've never even knew existed. I'm telling you, living in Oregon is more than a notion. Anywho, it's a lot of work. So as an exterminator, and I'm looking around. I had one last year, and I'm thinking, okay, let me see if there's any price change, if there's any, just the differences. Shopping. And I was referred to this gentleman who did work at the school. Nice guy. He got on the phone. I was on the phone with an exterminator for, and I'm not exaggerating here, 35 minutes. What is the show? Almost 40 minutes now. 35 minutes. And I might have said maybe 4 sentences, because he described all of his rates, all of his programs. I might as well have described every bug in Oregon and what to do and what he would do. Removing screens, taking the screens off. No, I don't have to take screens off. Yes, evacuate. Well, I didn't have to evacuate the house last year. Well, and then the whole explanation of why I need to leave the house. 35 minutes. I'm not joking. And this was the first time, my dear audience, the first time I was sitting in my car in a parking lot. I turned the car off. I just sat in the parking lot. And I just listened. And I had the patience of Job. I had the patience of an animal waiting for the sun to come up, of hunting prey. I had the patience. I listened. It was the first time. Well, I've actually had it a few times, but this was the first time where it just flowed without me. Okay, I know I have to listen, because if I resist this, this isn't going to be. It's not going to be peaceful if I'm resisting. I got to, all of that clutter, all of that talking, all of the, that. I got to coach myself up. Oh yeah, I got to coach. My ego isn't going to coach me up, because my ego is going to tell me, well, this guy's long-winded, and Jesus, doesn't he know that I'm not interested in all this? And it's over my head, all the different types of products and solutions. I don't need to know all of that, do I? It was the first time. I have to give myself a pat on the back that I listened. I said, what else do I have to do? I had nothing else to do, no place to go, no phone calls to make. What's wrong with just listening with patience for 35 minutes? And because I did that for 35 minutes, I know that I can do that in my future moments. I know that it's going to become easier and easier and easier, and sooner than later, just like with all of your growth, my dear audience, sooner than later, I'm going to be able to listen to anybody's explanation, whether I understand it, whether I want to hear it, whether they are oblivious to my interest. Did I say that out loud? I'm going to be able to listen peacefully. That's a big accomplishment. But I'm not going to get any awards for that. I'm not going to get any money for that. I'm not going to get any man-made accolades for that. But the more you behave in the same way that the universe behaves, the more you act like the universe, which is all accepting, allowing, no resistance, letting go, trusting, choosing your focus, surrendering to whatever is happening in the moment, surrendering with ease to whatever is happening in the moment, you are going to feel and be more rooted in peace. Happiness is a practice skill. That was my big accomplishment for the week. That was huge. I'm wondering, where's my headlines? Where is that going to go viral? I listened to an exterminator for 35 minutes. I might have said 15 words. I was waiting for him to, aren't you tired? I mean, I heard about everything, about his other customers, about bugs at his house. I heard about different types of roofs. And in the past, I would have said, you know what, thank you for the information, but that just doesn't pertain with anything to the reason why I'm calling. All I want to know is, what are your rates? and can you get rid of these box elder bugs? Box elders. That was it. Oh. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. You can find me on YouTube, either Reality Spirituality or search Rebecca Norrington. I have a few videos on YouTube. My first book, Reality Spirituality, can be purchased on Amazon.com and also on Lulu.com. Reality Spirituality is on Facebook. Go to Facebook to like Reality Spirituality. What a great name, isn't it? My second book, Program for Unhappiness, I am writing it. I don't know when it's going to be finished, but I am writing it. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You're always changing. You're always evolving. You're always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. That's from Abraham. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality with Rebecca L. Norrington. Thank you for listening, my dear audience. Thank you for listening. Have a great conscious week and practice. And let go. Let go of these people that you say you don't like, because in reality it's just saying you don't like yourself. We don't want to say that, do we? We don't give that vibe out, do we? Have a great week, audience. Reality Spirituality. Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's the new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Get real good. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.